Everybody, we are back. It is Tape Don't Lie. It is your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders breakdowns, favorite Raiders everything. We are back. It is the review episode, reviewing the 41-14 beatdown by the Kansas City Chiefs against the Las Vegas Raiders. Make sure you guys already know what to do. Subscribe. Hit the download button. Sorry, not the download, but hit the like button, right? Hit the like button. Also hit the dislike button as well if you don't like it. If you come here and you're upset about the game, come here and dislike it. It's okay. We're right. If you don't agree with some of our viewpoints here, that's all right. You can go ahead and dislike it. Let us know. And go ahead and leave a comment too. Let us know you don't like that, or let us know that you do like it. You know what I mean? And make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL and then at BD Williams 18. BD's back from his TDL paid paternity leave. We appreciate all the views you guys made paid paternity leave. The views you guys gave us the past couple weeks. So appreciate that. Make sure you guys cop a little t-shirts and manscaped.com as well. And hit that discount code TDL. So BD, welcome back, man. Came back to the defense just must have been lost without you. They just didn't know what to do. They wanted they wanted you to come back. They wanted you to come back and have something to do.
I was blessed to have a son as a gift, right?
All right. Yeah.
But then that's all I got because the Raiders were trash. You know what I'm saying? I got to put things in perspective, obviously.
Yeah.
But you're right. Raiders defense definitely looked lost. It was a pretty bad performance, all around, every which way. So I'm going to talk about a lot of it, much of it. There's certain things that were understandable. Brandon Faison, he's already reserve corner. He goes out. They pick on Desmond Trufant a little bit. Okay, you got to chalk that up in the NFL. But a lot of guys had opportunities. They were out schemed. They were outplayed. Mismatches, you name it. It was pretty bad for the Raiders defense. So we'll talk about that. We'll have a conversation about Gus Bradley, some of the drawbacks with some of the simplified things that he does on defense. So that's what I'm gonna talk about. What about you, man?
What I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about the run game, and Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake were absolutely terrible in this game. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they were doing, but they were just absolutely awful. So I'm going to go into that and try to show what happened and how that kind of slowed down the whole game plan. Because I posted on Twitter how they came out trying to run the football at a heavy personnel. I mean, that was kind of their game plan. We're going to punch you in the mouth. We're going to play ball control. We're going to, keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes and those guys. Don't let them kind of try to get going. Don't let them try to, score a lot of points. And I don't know if that was a team game plan, because I think it might have been, because I think, Gus Bradley and them kind of knew we're not going to be able to be too high all day. So we don't need you guys to stop them from having the football. So they came out there and they came with the game plan of, we're going to run the football and we're going to, get the screen game going and, keep away. And it didn't work. Right. So they didn't work. They couldn't play keep away with them. And then the Chiefs ended up playing keep away with them. Chiefs came with that game plan themselves, we're going to play keep away from the Raiders. And I mean, all those things kind of accumulated to a 41-14 loss. And the Raiders turned it on a little too late. And I'm talking about that and some of the mistakes. And then the offensive line got exposed again when Derek Carr had to try to throw deep and make a lot of plays. Those 5 to 7 step drops turn into pressure opportunities. So it was just the game plan itself made sense, right? I mean, that's the game plan. You want to run the ball. You can't run the ball against these guys. I mean, teams run the ball on them all year. That was your game plan. But I don't know if they expected Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake just to. I don't know what they're doing out there. So
I mean, it goes to show this is about complementary football. The team that played the best complementary football ran away with it. And we've seen Mahomes get impatient, and not take the checkdowns and not take the underneath stuff, which is where I've talked about it for a few weeks now. The underneath stuff is automatic for quarterbacks. Okay, and really, this whole defense is just about making them be perfect, right? And thinking that
Yeah.
you're gonna make more plays than they do, but that was far from the case, right? Like they made a lot more plays on the Chiefs offense, right?
Yeah.
And then at that point, now as a defense, you're just able to tee off and kind of bait Derek Carr into some of these things, knowing he has to push the ball downfield. So yeah, I mean, it was great complimentary football by them, and really bad for the Raiders, right?
Yeah. And as we're saying, when they got to the point where they started wanting to push the football down the field and get some throws, I mean, it was just too late. And then Derek Carr, like, kind of got into like the usual hero ball type of thing, and then just throwing it up in the air, and then his boy Zay Jones leading him out the drive, overrunning it. you know, just left him out the drive. I mean, they're supposed to be homies. I don't know how you just leave your homie out there to drop the drive like that, but and then Brian Edwards just watched it up in the air for a second. Maybe he was like didn't disbelief that the ball was in there. I don't know, but he like watched it for just too long for him to try to react and try to get that. It's just awful. It's got awful football at that point. And I mean, after the fumble with Deshaun Jackson, I mean, they basically just fell apart. I mean, the game was over at that point because they had to keep pressing, and their pass rush was not going to hold up. So it was holding up long enough, those two drives, that they were able to get some big plays, and they lost those opportunities to make some plays and that fumble. And then after that, I mean, it was just
Yeah. So I mean, I think a separate conversation about kind of like the mindset of like defeat setting in, maybe a little bit for this team.
Mhm.
But before we jump into that, because I feel like that's like best saved for the end, why
Yeah.
don't you just jump into your breakdown? Show us, what you're looking at from the offense. I definitely agree. Obviously, easy to see from the TV broadcast angle and all. That the Raiders had a real tough time running the ball. So interested to see what your perspective is going to be on that.
All right, so let's talk about Jacobs and Drake's bad day. All right, so Jacobs and Drake, I mean, one of the worst running performances I've seen in a minute. And I thought it was offensive line at first, but once the more you watch, the more you see they're just kind of missing things, right? So I mean, we'll start off with this run right here with Willie Gay making a huge play. I mean, this is kind of one of the plays that was on the offensive line, right? So we'll start off with something that was on the offensive line first up, right? So we got Foster Moreau, they're running inside zone. For some reason, he blocks the defensive end. When he's right next to Darren Waller instead of going up to Willie Gay, right? And Willie Gay makes that tackle, which Matt Holder covered on this earlier on the preview, right? And that was kind of like one of the main missed blocks that was just on the offensive line, right? Or on the tight ends or whatever, right? But we're gonna start seeing some big things missed here, all right, guys? So let's check out this one, okay? This play, mid zone. All right, so we got mid zone. We'll be running mid zone to Kenyon Drake's left, okay? Right, you guys just saw the play. Now we're gonna watch it in slow motion, okay? So you get to mid zone, right? They got the three-way go. You got to see he has two ways. Kenyon Drake, he could cut it back actually, but he had that huge lane to his left, and he decided not to take it, and he wanted to run into traffic for 3 yards. All right, so I mean that's not on the offensive line. That's blocked up beautifully. He had a cut back, and what it was. I forgot his bounce, cut back. I forgot the other term for the other one, but he had the cut back and the bounce right there. So
Yeah,
here's another one, right? Inside zone. I mean, you guys can kind of see this one. I put this on Twitter, but this is kind of just ugly. This is Josh Jacobs. I mean, this B gap is wide open on this inside zone. Okay, so here we go. Inside zone to the left, inside zone, they open up away from the tight end. Three-way go. I mean, 54 is backpedaling, right? I mean, this is us. What? 2nd and 6, that turns into 3 yards. That could have been like 14, 15, right? Kind of slows down a drive a little bit right there. So, right. So the drive gets slowed down. based on that situation, right? So we got a run right here, right? So next run, Josh Jacobs, another one, right? So this is split zone, okay? And we're gonna watch Kenyon Drake do this next run. You guys probably think, well, Josh Jacobs can't get there, right? But this is a three-way go on split zone. He has a chance to come and hit that cutback, and he doesn't follow it, right? And we're gonna watch Kenyon Drake do the same run. This is the best run of the day, okay? Split zone, right? Same three-way go. See how Kenyon Drake sees it, and he'll make the cutback right there, right behind Darren Waller, which is the same thing Josh Jacobs did earlier. And I mean, maybe would have got a touchdown. They still got a touchdown on that drive, but it kind of shows how bad they were this game. And this one's the worst one, man. This is terrible. I have no idea what the hell Kenyon Drake was doing on this one. Okay, so we'll stop it right here, right? So he's got the outside. Okay, he's got Brandon Parker, right? He's about to take out Ward, right? Brandon Parker start to take out Ward. Melvin Ingram has to go through Brandon Parker. Okay, that's the big thing. So it looks like Melvin Ingram might get outside. He has to kind of go through Brandon Parker to get there, but Kenyon Drake just runs into him. I don't know what he was doing there. I literally watched that play for a long time, and I couldn't figure it out. And then this one is another pretty egregious one. Not really egregious, I would say. I'm gonna take that back, but I think Josh should have bounced this mid zone. All right, and I'm gonna show you why he should have bounced this one. And he could have got something out of it. He could have got more out of it, basically, because basically Frank Clark, he goes inside. Okay, so since when Josh Jacobs gets this football, he's got to see that Frank Clark is inside, right? Clark is winning inside. He has to bounce it like right away. Like it has to be like full speed. He has to take the outside. I mean, he stiff arms people all the time. I mean, he could stiff arm Melvin Ingram, get like 3 or 4 or 5 yards right there, but I mean, you get one, right? And there's plays left on the field this whole game. So it's hard to say the game plan didn't work when you have these mistakes, right? So you got inside zone again here, right? Inside zone, the same thing here, guys, right? And Josh Jacobs just misses a wide open hole once again, right? And it's over. I mean, this is bad. I mean, how many runs is this? I feel like this is like 8 runs, right? And this is another one. Him dancing. Watch him dance on his inside zone instead of just hitting this hole. He comes in there and kind of just does a little left and right dance. Got the 3-way go right for the zone run. Look at the hole. If he just hits it, I mean, he might even could have hit the other one with some power, right? But hesitation. He dances. He's waving. He's swerving. Nothing. So I mean, it's hard to say that the Raiders couldn't run the football in this game. It's hard for me to say that. Okay. They just didn't execute. That's basically the whole offense. So we're gonna see this in pass pro too. Pass pro ruined some big plays. Okay. And like I said, this is all over the tape. It's just bad execution all over this offense. And that's the most frustrating part for me watching this is just, there's plays there to be made if they execute it. So you see here, Jerron Reed goes right by John Simpson. There's a little confusion there from Andre James. He helped on Melvin Ingram. Maybe that's his assignment. I don't know. I'm not in the room there, especially with pass blocking, right? So we watch this one more time. Right there, Jerron Reed goes right by him. And while he's getting sacked, they're running a peel concept, and Darren Waller is about to be wide open on a wheel route. And look what Juan Thornhill is looking to his right. He's not even looking at Darren Waller. Juan Thornhill is looking towards the post route. That's a touchdown. It's literally a touchdown. Unless Dark Card misses it. But we hope that doesn't happen. But he's wide open, right? So here we go. Another one. A big miss right here, right? Derek Carr. He can't really step up in his pocket and throw this football, right? A little bit mean, right? Can move in there, but when you see it from this side, this is when it gets kind of crazy, man. It's like this concept is nuts. Okay, this is the only one I'm showing like the whole concept on this one because this is crazy. So this could be like a post route, and then watch like Deshaun Jackson kind of holds it, and Zay Jones is gonna be wide open, but Derek Carr's kind of already out of the pocket because of the pressure was getting pushed into him. He wanted to be able to step up into this throw. He can't step up into the throw, right? He steps up like a normal quarterback, Frank Clark's right there. He's grabbing on him, so he has to run through it. Misplay, missed opportunity on that one, right? So this one is the chuck up in the air. So here's Alex Leatherwood getting beat, right? Right there. And, at this moment in time, Zay Jones is running, about to be wide open because there's two things going on in this play. So there's a go route, right, with Brian Edwards. So if he goes to Zay Jones, he goes to the go route. If he goes to Edwards, he goes to Zay Jones because you see where Thornhill's leverage is on the other side. It's who knows what that play would have been, right? And it's a toss up in the air, just ugly. And here's the last toss up in the air. This one, the Chiefs are blitzing, right? You see the Chiefs blitzing right here. Derek Hall calls it out. I want you guys to notice that. See Derek Hall call out the blitz. He's pointing at that direction. They don't pick it up. Nobody picks up the line. Leatherwood is blocking inside. I don't know. He must have missed a check, right? Free runner towards Derek Carr. He's grabbed. So let's watch what's happening on the other end. It's Brian Edwards. He's running wide open. They run a dig and go against a safety, against cover 2. He's wide open. Derek Carr still tries to throw it to him. So I don't know. That's funny. He's still trying to. He was like,
got no other choice, I guess, at that point. Yeah. That hurts when you break it down like that, when you show like the concepts are winning concepts. This is schemed up great. It just comes down to obviously the execution. And it's the same on both sides of the ball. Chiefs just made way more plays,
yeah,
straight up. Whatever that was, they made it. So I guess you got to catch them, at the same time, got to hope that run game can start going again. So they don't have to be in these 5 and 7 step drops and leaving Alex Leatherwood on an island, leaving Andre James or John Simpson on an island, whatever it is, Brandon Parker, having them be able to play action pass a little bit, having them, be able to enforce their will on these guys. Got to get the run game going. Interesting to see kind of like some of these vision issues. I'm wondering if I could ask you, when you see where teams play the Raiders, what are their linebackers doing? Are their linebackers sitting back, or are linebackers, when they play the Raiders run game, like hitting the hole immediately?
They're coming up. They're coming up at this point. They're coming up, especially. I mean, the Raiders are still running the ball a lot on first down, which I didn't notice until this week when I started kind of, finishing up a lot of my charting and getting really caught up. Is the Raiders are, especially in the first half, are still running the ball a lot on first down. So the flip side, though, is that they're doing play action a lot on their passes on first down. Mm-hmm. So they're mixing it up with that mixture of a little bit of the play action on first down and, with the run game too, mixing it up that way. And what's interesting about this game too is that, the big plays that happen in this game. So like the big monster, not the big plays, but like there was a sequence where they had 122 yards on 5 plays.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And on that sequence, they ran play action on 3 of those plays. And those 3 plays went for about 80 yards off the top of my head right here. I'm looking at.
Okay. Right.
So, I mean, it like opened everything up after that. Right. Because I think when teams are, on first down and they're coming up and they're trying to, do whatever, they're trying to, attack, or they're trying to come down and attack those gaps, because the Raiders have a tendency to run on first down. They do. I mean, that's kind of their tendency right now, even without Gruden being there. I mean, now that I look at it, I mean, Olsen's running on first down too. But the difference is you'll get a play action Yankee to Deshaun Jackson on first down too. Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the kind of the difference of the outlook that you have to look at it. Or like if they run on first down and they get 5 yards, right, they'll play action on second down and short. Right. I think there's a little bit of a mixture with that. But if they're getting shut down on first down and they're losing yards on those first down runs, then it shuts down kind of everything because they're not very good on third down right now. And one of the reasons why they're not good on third down is because it gets them out of the three-step drop game that they're doing so much right now, which is protecting the offensive line. So when they get into third and longs, we see a lot of those sacks and those blitzes coming, and
Right.
their line's not holding up because the line's just is not good, and they've kind of been hiding it a little bit. I mean, they're able to still hide it against the Giants too a little bit, but this game they couldn't. They couldn't hide it,
No.
and they had to try to play through it. And I mean, that's why you saw a lot of the mistakes happen and a lot of a lot of the issues. But I still say the fumble was the changing point in that game because I think the offense, like I said, they had 122 yards on 5 plays, and you know they were able to get a lot of explosive plays when they tried to move the football. And I think Greg Olson adjusted really well too. I think they weren't. I don't know if they were expecting to play that ball control stuff, but I think once they got out of it, they started attacking the coverages really well and what they wanted to do. That's like the fake screen to Brian Edwards that happened. I mean, that was a lot because they were playing so much cover two and they were playing a lot of short stuff. So when Derek Carr was like, checking down early on, they were ready. They're boom, boom, boom. That's why you see like Josh Jacobs in the third two get tackled real quick. So what they did, they started throwing pump fakes to those plays. So they got like one to Brian Edwards, they would pump fake to a um is A Jones, and they hit Edwards over it because they missed Edwards on that previous time to Jacobs because Edwards came open late. So they came back to it. And then again, they did another one and then they hit Edwards on a dig route. And then they're setting it up to get Tyrann Mathieu on Deshaun Jackson one-on-one, and it's a post route. And then you're seeing some of the stuff that they miss on some of the pressure. Yeah, they had a line, man. This game it would have been a shootout. Let's just say that. But they don't have a line, and they can't do those 7-step drops consistently unless they're playing like you know a team that doesn't have Chris Jones and Melvin Ingram and Jaron Reed.
Yeah. I mean, I think you said it, and I think this sets up a solid segue. I mean, it should have been a shootout, right? And I put some blame also. I put a lot of blame into into the performance of the defense. Okay, like any which way you could have been beat, Raiders got beat on defense, right?
Yeah.
So here, let me just jump in here. Share my screen. All right, so first things first. Raiders were exposed in their individual matchups. Okay, here we go. We got Perryman. He's in the middle of the field. Nate Hobbs playing man to man on the slot. Oh, gets beat off the line inside, but that's okay in this defense. You got Perryman there to drive on this crosser here, right? Okay, no. Missed tackle, missed tackle. You got a big run and gain on what really was a perfect call for that situation. Here we go. We got one cross, playing one cross. Perryman and man-to-man alignment. He's going to drop off this, okay? He's a rat in the middle of the field. He's in perfect position to drive on this, break a pass up, maybe even get an interception, but he slips, literally slips when he's in the perfect spot. He knows it, okay? Then Desmond Trufant's got to come in the game. He's taking a gamble. It is what it is. He wants to get that interception. He wants to come in and get that interception. He's going to get beat. Now the Raiders are playing some too high. Cover 5 slice. Okay. Dallin Levitt. He's got to drive on the first in breaking route, but he second guesses himself, steps behind him. He was there to make that play, just hesitated too much. Okay. Brandon Faison also. Here we go. Starts get the hands on, but he starts peeking into the backfield. You can't start peeking when you got Tyreek Hill running past you here. Okay. So don't get greedy, Faison. Okay, bad play by him. And then really the main perpetrator, Jonathan Abram, here he is in cover 4. He's got any vertical breaking route from this tight end right here. Okay, and just, double taps to break, gets beat. At least he makes the tackle though. Okay, this is the most egregious and probably most embarrassing play of Jonathan Abram's career. But he's had his fair share at this point on the backside of cover 3. He's going to play this running back man to man. It turns into a scramble drill. Instead of plastering He gives the guy his back, tries to zone turn this, and gets mossed by a back. Not even a wide receiver or a tight end, a back.
He did a small thing to him. That's
Gosh,
embarrassing.
yeah, he did. It's so embarrassing. I mean, and this is what it should look like. You see Carlton man turning it, right? Okay, there you go. Now, exploiting the rules of the defense. It's not just on the players. Gus Bradley also got out coached. Okay, so Raiders on the backside of cover three, they're always going to carry these verticals. Okay, it's on the weak hook curl dropper to execute what's called a Leroy buzz. He's always going to be laid to the flat. Okay, but it at least should be a tackle at the sticks, not for a first down. Okay, they knew the rules, put him in a bad spot. Here we go. Raiders are playing a little bit of too high here. Jonathan Abram, when he sees this tight end come down and block, that's his man. So he comes up and triggers against the run action. Okay, face on when he sees this little stutter step, he also triggers, oh, no one's back there. Easy touchdown, great concept against that. Okay, here's another one. Got a little zoom motion here. Everyone's going to jump over it, one gap. Okay, and we're going to get a little run action. So here we go, hops, triggers. But we also get a drag from the opposite side of the field, leaves that area of the field wide open. Great screen call, fantastic play design to beat that look right there. Now we have Travis Kelce. He's in the backfield. Now it's going to confuse the guys on the back end. Okay. Normally, if Kelsey's here, Abrams just going to play this man to man, essentially on the backside. Okay. But he's in the backfield, gets hit with this little sail concept. They don't communicate who's supposed to have Kelsey. Okay. Just schemed him up straight up. Gus Bradley had a hard time executing, calling the things, for the right situation. Okay. And you were saying that this is throwing shade at the Raiders, Marcus?
Yeah, they ran this last year on them. Alec Ingold, same exact play. That is super shade right there, bro.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Here's another example. They're in cover three, weak hook curl player, always takes three vertical. It's in a short space. He sees a run action. It's Tyreek Hill. He can't chase after that. It's just knowing the rules of the defense and playing cover three beaters. Now, they also did some interesting things to take Crosby out of the game as much as they could. Here we go. We got a little chip block, turns into a little fake screen, pseudo screen play, right? A little improv, okay? Run and catch, a lot of missed tackles on this play. Look at it from the all 22 angle. We see down here, everyone gets up out of there. They're treating Kelsey like a blocker. They're not expecting Kelsey to just turn around here on the line of scrimmage. And that with his, proven ability to break tackles and run after the catch, it's a tough one for the defense to get him down. Here we go. Here's another one. Shucks him at the line of scrimmage, just turns around. It's a little easy one. Breaks some tackles, turns what should have really been a non-factor into a huge play.
Good Lord.
And look, they even got a little wide receiver in on this. Raiders never adjusted. They never did anything about this. Okay. Pretty bad look. Okay. And then also, some of these guys just missed opportunities straight up. Okay. Look at this. Look at this play. It's a blitz. KJ Wright just on the ground way too long. It should have been a sack. Should have had a big play right there. Here we go. Casey Hayward weaves through traffic. Okay. It's a good play. It would have been a great play if it's an interception, right through his hands. Okay, here's another one. Nate Hobbs slaps this out of the ground. Casey Hayward gets off that block. Maybe he gets in on that fumble recovery. Okay, get off the block, Casey Hayward. Here we go. Trayvon Merritt in the middle of the field. This is perfect. This is textbook. This is great. Okay, beats him to the spot. He had two chances to catch it, and he didn't wind up with it, right? It's sorry, okay,
yeah.
I think that there were a lot of opportunities for the Raiders, despite being really out schemed and outplayed. There was some opportunities in there for them to kind of even the score and turn this into some drama and not let it be a runaway, right? So it's really unfortunate to see that. It's really also unfortunate to see just this is the same exact scheme that Gus Bradley has run for the last 4 years against the Chiefs. Nothing changed. There wasn't anything special with the personnel that he has, yada yada yada. He just played in the same way that he has for several years now. And I was really disappointed to see that because I was really hoping that we'd see a wrinkle. We'd see something to kind of throw him off. We've seen how two high defenses are playing this year, and it's really giving, even the best quarterbacks a really tough time. And he kind of just stayed in his normal bag of tricks. So I was disappointed to see that. And then when it comes down to it, Jonathan Abram, I've been a supporter of his, but with the league moving towards you need to be a deep safety, right, to be a safety.
Mhm.
I just don't think Abrams got that really in him at this point. He's not a quarters guy because he can't play guys tight ends man to man. And just some of the instincts down the field I think are off for him, despite being an explosive athlete. It's just not enough for Jonathan Abram at this point. I think the book is unfortunately being written on Jonathan Abram, and as long as he's the starting strong safety, he's not going to make a big enough impact to make the, like, when Gus Bradley's had great defenses. We were talking about Derwin James playing strong safety. We're talking about Cam Chancellor playing strong safety. Like Rayshon Jenkins honestly would have been a better option this year. They should have snapped him up. Wherever he landed, I've seen that he's playing pretty good, and he played this position in Gus Bradley's defense last year much better than Jonathan Abram was playing at this point. Okay, Jonathan Abram just not making a big enough impact against the pass. So it's just there's nothing that they can do. Like Dallin Levitt is the next best guy. So like, what do you do?
I mean, what does Roger Teamer do? I mean, he gets healed up, man. They get healed up. I mean, put Javin White out there, or put Diablo out there, bro. I mean, because my thing. Okay, all right. So he can't cover, right? Right. But he can play the run. I mean, that's basically the only thing he really can do. He can play the run. So he can't cover, right? I was expecting, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm crazy. I was expecting to see some Diablo. I was expecting, like, Diablo picks that pass off. He's basically a safety. He would pick that pass off super easy, right? Because he did that stuff in college. I mean, and he has that athletic ability where he could do both. I think he literally could cover, right? And he has good transitions. And even when you showed him playing week 3, and even when he made some mistakes out there, which he's going to do. I mean, he's a rookie, right? He's going to make the mistakes, but I thought you still showed some good elements in him being able to play safety. So I think maybe they should just bite the bullet and be like this whole linebacker type of thing. And if you want to be able to play too high and play dime, I mean, throw Diablo out there. I mean, he obviously can cover.
I don't know why he hasn't gotten another look out there, because he has played special teams and he played a little bit on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
On defense, but not back there at that deep safety. I think that's really what the issue is. It's like Gus Bradley, at first he's like, I love cover 3. I'm gonna play a lot of cover 3. Jonathan Abram, as far as like being in the box, like that works. I can make that work, right? And then as you're seeing, like, okay, no, it's actually too high. That's gonna change the way that offenses play. John Abram is just not a high safety, and a too high guy. Like, that's just not what he is, right? So I think that they're trying to figure it out, because when they do go too high at a dime, they leave Abram in the box and they put Dallin Levitt back there. I mean, come on. Like, at least get Roger Teamer a chance to play high safety. Like, if you just don't like Abram back there, but I agree, like Diablo as well, like, get these guys out there on the field. And I think it's a real shame that they're just not trusting Abram to play these two high looks at all. That they can't trust him, because like there's really no other recourse on the roster right now. And I think it's like a Hail Mary to think that Diablo could be able to do it at this point in the year. Like, he hasn't been in that room with them even. Yeah.
All right, man. I guess. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's. I mean, something we talked about, bro. We talked about some of this like, how is this coming? Like, some teams did a cover, they're just gonna attack there on the inside, not really throw outside. That's basically what the Chiefs did. They rarely threw outside. And on the preview episode, I talked about what teams are playing too high against them. But the real big thing that they were doing was they were stopping Travis Kelce they were bumping him. They were making it tough, making Mahomes hold the ball. when he was getting off the line. But Kelsey was having some free rush. He's having some free releases. It was just I didn't like that game plan they had for Kelsey. And because the other teams that played Kelsey, they put the corners on him. They put like their best corner. They put Bradbury on him, and just to press him, like get some press coverage on him. I know Faison got a couple shots at him, but and he kind of just physically his way through Faison, but that's what other teams are doing. I mean, that's why the Chiefs couldn't move the football. It wasn't like just the too high looks. I mean, teams been doing that for years, and I mean, people act like that's just how you beat Andy Reid. No, you have to stop Travis Kelsey, and the Raiders could not stop Travis Kelsey at all. And that's once I saw that, I was like, oh my god, they're not going to stop him, because if you can't stop Travis Kelsey, you're not going to be able to stop them. I mean, it's really how it is, and they have a really good line. Like their line is like super legit. I mean, Trey Smith is probably, he's probably the steal of the draft right now. Creed Humphrey was one of my favorite centers coming out this year. I was a really big Creed Humphrey guy. Even Wiley is a good inside. Orlando Brown had a good game.
Good game.
Yeah, and then they just helped Wiley over and over and over again. But all the other four guys did work. So, and then they couldn't grab Kelsey. I was like, oh my god, yes, this is gonna be a blowout. And I think
it's the first piece of the puzzle is stopping Kelsey, right, or slowing him down somehow, doing something to make them adjust, right, and play that cat and mouse game. There was no adjustments. There was no cat and mouse game.
Yeah, you gotta make. So when Mahomes sees too high, what he does is, which you should do, he looks to Kelsey, right? He goes, okay, I have nothing high. I'm going to go to Kelsey. What you want to make him do is he sees too high. He goes to Kelsey. Oh, then that's when he panics. And if he does that and he comes here, you're done. You're literally done all day. He's going to just eat you up from the pocket. You want him leaving the pocket. People think that, that's what I'm saying. Everybody loves the guy that runs around and makes a highlight and does all that cool stuff. But you saw, if he stays in the pocket and he does what he wants to do, man, that's why I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. So yeah, you can't play around with that guy. You can't play around. Also, you gotta be a little more creative in the back end too, man. I don't know how you didn't watch what the Titans did and just like try to copy that. Cause I really feel like they don't have Kevin Byard. I get it. But I don't know. I think you try to copy what they did, which was a lot of
something. Throw something weird at them, please.
Yeah, because they played a lot of the coverages that the Titans played a lot of the coverages that you showed, right? They just didn't show it pre-snap. So they I'm sure they're too high. Like, okay, they're playing too high. No, the Titans would have Kevin Byard lined up over Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, Kevin Byard he's all best
all pro
best safety in the NFL.
So. But they would have him lined up over Travis Kelsey, like he's about to guard him man to man, and then he would just run all the way too high, and then it's somebody else guarding him. So it's that type of stuff that you have to do to the Chiefs, and if you don't, then you're gonna get murdered, especially with the personnel the Raiders have.
You realize that you're describing the players that do that was Brian Dawkins and Trey Polamalu, Ed Reed. That's what you're those are the players that can disguise and be around the line of scrimmage. Kevin Byard, he's all pro. You got Jonathan Abram back here. Okay, come on. Okay, Jonathan Abram cannot disguise. His intentions are so clear every time he's out there. It's his body language. You can just read him like a book. The disguise is probably not good enough. I would say right now at this point for sure for the Raiders. They're working some little things. It's not the worst thing. It's not their biggest problem. The biggest problem is Perryman can't cover anyone. Abram can't cover anyone. Levitt can't cover anyone. These guys around the middle aren't making an impact. Even Hobbs is getting beat. I showed some film during the mailbag of him getting beat. All these guys across the middle are getting beat. That's what the problem is.
We've been talking about it for the whole year. It's going to happen. And we even talked about this point in time where they're going to play these three teams in a row that all have good inside players that are really, really effective. And it's really going to test this defense. Because after we got Tyler Boyd coming up this week, we got CD Lamb, with Michael Gallup back, which means CD Lamb is inside. So, I mean, that's going to be an issue. I mean, it is. It's going to be a huge issue against the. You think the Cowboys aren't going to just try to attack in the middle of the field? They're literally just all they're going to do. They're literally going to attack that part of the field all game. And I don't know if the Bengals are going to be that smart and attack. Because I mean, I did a Bengals interview the other day, and they're talking about Tyler Boyd's kind of getting weeded out of this offense. So I don't know if the Bengals would be that smart. They might be. I don't know. They might be that smart to switch it up, but the Cowboys will. Kellen Moore ain't get to play around with you guys. So
yeah. I mean, Bengals. If we could just peek slightly ahead. They love obviously working the outside. Higgins, Chase, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Mullen's back, I think that'd be a great heavyweight matchup, between the Hayward and Mullen and Higgins and Jace. Like that'd be great film to watch, honestly. If you're a fan of those kinds of things, there's gonna be plenty of opportunities for both those corners to be man to man with those guys on the outside. And I think that honestly it's a good matchup for the Raiders. Like I think that's probably their best shot. But if they start doing some creative things, we'll see, because they can beat you in other ways to the Bengals, but we don't need to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we get out of here, I do want to talk to you about, we watch film, we're breaking down film, but some part of this, these last two losses, I think, after the Henry Ruggs incident, more stuff keeps on getting piled onto this team. I feel like, and I've seen this happen before, when there's like a collective feeling like, oh, things are going bad again. And I think that we saw that from the Raiders when Deshaun Jackson fumbled that ball. I think, like you're saying, like nothing happened after that. Like a defeat mindset kind of set.
Yeah.
And I'm a little worried about that, because like that's a tough thing to eradicate. Like that's a slippery slope. So I'm worried about the Raiders. Like as soon as any kind of adversity sets in, hopefully we start seeing these guys, like stepping up and being like, oh, okay, we fumbled, something bad happened, this happened, let's step our game up, instead of what I think we're seeing is bad things happening. Oh, here we go again,
Yeah. I think what's interesting about what you're saying, and I think you have a good point, because I mean, I feel like, that's why Derek Carr chucked the ball up in the air at that point. I mean, he felt like that it was like a desperation. He's trying to save the season or whatever he's thinking, and he can't go down. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody, the Chiefs players called him scared or whatever. But I mean, he was just trying to. He's basically, it was like, man, like what the hell's going on? Like this dude's wide open, and I got more guys in my face, and
he goes down. Derek Carr goes down under pressure. He's scared. Then he fights through pressure to throw a terrible pass.
And the Chiefs players call him scared.
He's scared. Like, okay, all right, cool.
He's scared. He's just checking it out.
You don't play football in the NFL if you're scared. All right.
I know, but that's just division rivals talking crap. But yeah. But I mean, I think you have a point, and I think that that is kind of like the mental part of this season, especially that Deshaun Jackson, because that was embarrassing. And I don't know, maybe Derek Carr at that point looked around, was like, "This is happening again." He probably had a James Jones flashback. That's what I did. I don't know about anybody else, but I had a James Jones flashback. You guys remember that James Jones play when he fumbles twice to the same play back in 2014? I'm sure Derek Carr does. It's the second game of his career. he threw a dime to James Jones, right on the money, and then James Jones fumbles, and then he picks it up, and then he's about to run the touchdown, and then he fumbles again.
Oh, I do remember that. Okay.
Yeah, that was Derek Carr's. Derek Carr had a couple welcome to the Raiders moments those first two games. That was the one, and then the one when Maurice Jones-Drew kicked the ball up in the air.
Right.
So I don't know. I think he had a lot of flashbacks to what was happening before. And yeah, I mean, if you've been here a long time, bro, it's like, yeah, welcome to the Raiders. Welcome.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, I think that's what the Raiders are going to be fighting this year. It's not necessarily like their opponent. They're going to have to do all the study and the preparation like they're normally going to do, but they're also on top of that going to have to be constantly fighting like the adversity of this season and like the mindset of defeat setting in, it's going to be a
Yeah.
year long challenge for them. So we'll see if they're able
Yeah.
to rise to that.
Yeah. I think this is a big game this week. I mean, if they go out and win this game, I think it puts them in a really good spot. The AFC is so wide open. I mean, they're not out of it at all. There's no reason for them to panic. I mean, fans want to panic. That's fine. There's no reason for the team to panic. They ain't got to panic like the fans are. So I hope the leadership in there realizes what's going on. Right. What I think what should happen with this team. I mean, I think this team needs to kind of be reminded, like the last time the Raiders went to the Super Bowl, they were 5-4 at this point in time. They were 5-4. They were literally 5-4 at this point in time. They started off 4-0. This team started off 3-0. That team lost 4 in a row. All right. They lost 4 in a row. They scored I think it was they didn't score more than 23 points in any of those games. So they had a couple points where they scored 10 points. In the previous 2 games before they started that losing streak, they scored 52 and 49. Right. So I mean, they went on a slump. And then this is with Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, Charlie Garner, all these guys. There's probably would have been fans talking about like, where's Gruden? This team would never win without Gruden after that losing streak. It probably should have been Rich Gannon has a wussy arm. Rich Gannon's old, never win with Rich. Those type of things would have been going on Twitter. Some guy writing a media article. Why aren't they throwing to Jerry Rice? Even though they're throwing to Jerry Rice, but I'm just making it up in my head that they're not throwing to Jerry Rice. All types of things that's happening, all types of narratives that are going on crazy.
Still frames. Like the progression is completely wrong. Look, Jerry Rice wide open.
Jerry Rice, what is Rich Gannon doing? He can't throw downfield. That wimp arm he has, and all those things. So that's how it'd be. So that's kind of the perspective I'm looking at it at. They go out and win. They're 6-4, just like that team was. And that's the last time they started 3-0. And we were getting to like the freak out of like people like in December, Derek Carr sucks and all that stuff. And Josh Dubois was posting stats of Derek Carr in December and November. So, but I do have a rebuttal to that. I have a rebuttal to that. BD, I did this for the show actually. If you got some extra time here, I got a little rebuttal. So, did you know because Josh Dubois loves to do this, from 2014 to 2021, right now, right? From November to December, Derek Carr has the most drops in the NFL in November and December. And he has 138 drops. Okay. So top 5 is him, Brady, right? Matt Ryan, Rodgers, and Roethlisberger, right? He has 138. Tom Brady is at 2 with 115. Okay. 115 to 138. And then Derek Carr has the second highest drop rate. So he has a drop rate of 6.4 since then, right? So you put his passer rating or whatever up there you want to, but I mean, those drops make a big deal. Then it gets even crazier. It gets even crazier, BD, because people talk about these. You want to talk about passer rating, right? Since November and December. So from 2019 to 2021, which is really, he started having good stats. I mean, I know you guys like Derek Carr in 2016, but I mean, you have a 28 touchdown to 6 touchdowns. You have a pass rating under 100. That's not good to me. So, I mean, he was clutch and he was, tough and whatever, but he wasn't really like an efficient quarterback that you want to see, right? So from 2019 to 2021, Derek Carr is 11th in passer rating. So, I mean, you could say he's 30th and 31st or whatever. So in November, December, he's 30th in passer rating from 2019 to 2021, right? And he's second in yards.
With all those drops still.
7.7 YPA. No, this is the catch. This is the catch to it, right?
Okay.
His drop rate has actually gone down. So he's actually playing better in December because they're not dropping the football anymore. It's basically so his whole passer rating for his career is basically based on the drop. So he stopped dropping the football. He's played fine, right? And he has a good passer rating in November and December. He's thrown a lot of yards. I mean, could he throw more touchdowns in November, December? Yeah. I mean, he's still 12th. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is out of 40 quarterbacks. And then if you take out November, this is my favorite one. take out November, right? You just go December. Let's just go December, right? He's 7th in the NFL in passer rating in December from 2019 to 2020. From 2019 to 2020, basically the last 2 seasons in December, his passer rating is 98.
Okay.
And if you want to talk about he fumbles, he doesn't have a fumble loss in December in the past 2 seasons.
So you're saying there's a chance, Marcus?
So what I'm saying is like the whole November and December thing is not true anymore because Derek Carr actually is good now. So I mean that's basically what I'm saying.
Look, we're gonna need that. I was looking at the schedule. I think a lot of the teams that are on this left on the schedule, didn't play so hot last year, but are playing better this year, right? So I think that some of these, games on the schedule that people were like, oh, that's a win. I don't know. Washington just be Buccaneers, right? Like it's still a dangerous team. Okay, even with what Heineke is the quarterback. Come on,
yeah.
Pete Tampa Bay, defending champions. Okay, like anything can happen in the NFL. So yeah, Carr is gonna have to play better. He's gonna have to start well in this team because like we've seen it. It's not gonna be the defense. The defense is gonna have to be in a shootout, and just let Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue go to work. Because if they can't do that, defense isn't doing much, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at this point. So yeah, like Carr is gonna have to score and put that pressure on the offense, on the opposing offense, to really score fast. That's the only way that this team is really, I think, has a chance at this point.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you're right. And I mean, it is the only way that they really have a chance to win. They have to be able to push the ball down the field. And it's kind of crazy. I mean, Alec Ingold getting hurt might actually help this team because they'll be able to be more 11 personnel team.
More 11, yeah.
And they run really, really well at 11 personnel. And this is the first game. The Chiefs game is the first game that they didn't run primarily at 11 personnel.
I feel like they're gonna be more 12 personnel though, right?
Maybe. I hope not. I hope they have an analytics guy that's like showing them success rates from 11 personnel. I hope some guys doing that because that's where they got to run the ball. I mean, even the longest run in the last game was at 11. So obviously it works for them. They have to be able to, they need to spread teams out and run the football that way. They can't, if they don't have a fullback anymore, they kind of have to do that. But I just want to talk about that December Derek Carr thing because you post his whole career, then I get it. But like if you the past 3 seasons have been a little different for him. So
when I promote this on Twitter, I'm going to post that entire clip of you ranting about Derek Carr's December, November.
Said, bro. Yeah, it's just it's to me like the whole Derek Carr thing is just kind of ridiculous at this point. Like it's just everything I look at is you guys are just so annoying. It's just like annoying me at this point. Like I feel like I'm about to block everybody on Twitter. Like that's basically how the point I am with like the Derek Carr conversation because the defense gave up 41 points.
Yeah, right.
And they gave up 41 points. Like.
The game was out of hand.
They didn't score 36. Like, be like, what are we like? What are you like? I don't know. Like, what are you really mad at?
Yeah.
You're just mad that he's there, basically.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're mad at. Like, some shows talk about playing Marcus Mariota, like, so they could make the playoffs. I'm like, first of all, like, Marcus Mariota was under pressure 5 times in his last start. So, like, he's never faced this. He's never had this happen to him in his career. He's never had a bad offensive line, and he has like a sack percentage of like 8 in his career. So like, that's just like I got like a threat. I got a threat one time. The guy was like threatening to like ruin our show because I told Marcus Mariota has a high sack percentage, and it's gonna be behind a bad offensive line. That's probably gonna be a disaster.
He must have been from Marcus Mariota's hometown or something like that.
It's like just think, guys. Use your brains, like. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'm done. I'm done.
On that note, think about it, Raider Nation. We appreciate everyone. I appreciate all the people that reached out to me and sent me well wishes about the birth of my son. So I appreciate you guys for that, Raider Nation. Also, make sure you hit up Manscaped into the promo code TDL for 20% off plus free shipping on any Manscaped product. Holidays around the corner. Get that special man in your life, something from Manscaped. The Manscaped catalog has a bunch of men's grooming products. I use it pretty often, personally. So I can attest to the value, the quality of it. So make sure you hit up Manscaped for that 20% off by entering the promo code TDL. And that's it for us, Raider Nation. Yeah.
Peace.